In today's class, we will look at drugs used in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, that is anti-rheumatic drugs. Chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine. So we know that these are anti-malarial drugs, but they have it is seen that they produce remission in about 50% of the rheumatoid arthritis patients, but they only when taken for 3 to 6 months. And then the disadvantages of these drugs include they show low efficacy and the erosion of bones are not prevented. Coming to mechanism of action, the exact mechanism of action of these drugs in rheumatoid arthritis is unknown, but it is suspected that they reduce monocyte interleukin 1, which results in inhibition of B lymphocytes, and it is also suspected that they interfere with antigen processing. Coming to the adverse effects, we know that these drugs should be taken for long period of time. So the amount of time which is required for them to start showing the effect itself is 3 to 6 months. So because of this, because they are taken for long periods of time in rheumatoid arthritis, they can result in accumulation, especially in tissues containing melanin, which results in toxicity. So especially retinal damage and corneal opacity is of particular concern. So this adverse effect is less common with hydroxychloroquine, and it is also reversible if it occurs while taking hydroxychloroquine. Therefore, hydroxychloroquine is preferred over chloroquine. Other adverse effects include rashes, graying of hair, irritable bowel syndrome, myopathy and neuropathy. Coming to the last drug included in this class is leflunomide. So this leflunomide is an immunomodulator and it inhibits the proliferation of stimulated lymphocytes in patients with active rheumatoid arthritis. So arthritic symptoms are suppressed and radiological progress of the disease is retarded. Pharmacokinetics include the active metabolite of this drug has long T-half, that is 2 to 3 weeks, and therefore it is given in a loading dose of 100 mg daily for 3 days followed by 20 mg once daily. Adverse effects include diarrhea, headache, nausea, rashes, loss of hair, thrombocytopenia and leukopenia. And increased chances of chest infections can also be seen along with raised hepatic transaminases. Contraindications of this drug is it should not be used in children and pregnant or lactating women. Next category of anti-rheumatoid drugs, that is biological agents. So the first class of drugs included in this category is TNF-alpha inhibitors. TNF is nothing but tumor necrosis factor. So this tumor necrosis factor plays a significant role in the inflammatory response in rheumatoid arthritis. So this TNF-alpha causes activation of membrane-bound receptors present on the surface of T cells, macrophages, etc., which results in an inflammatory cascade, and this results in rheumatoid arthritis. So the action of these drugs include inhibition of TNF-alpha, which results in anti-rheumatoid action. So the effects include regression of inflammatory changes in the joint and slowing of the bony erosions. So when using these drugs, susceptibility to opportunistic infections such as tuberculosis is increased. So though they are effective as monotherapy, they are generally used along with methotrexate when the response to methotrexate alone is not adequate or in cases which are rapidly progressing. So coming to the first drug included in this class is etanercept. So this drug is a recombinant fusion protein of TNF receptor and Fc portion of human IgGI. So the dose of this drug is 25 to 50 mg subcutaneously once or twice weekly. Pain, redness, itching and swelling occur at the injection site. Chest infections may be increased. And then next drug is infliximab. So this drug is a chimeral monoclonal antibody which binds and neutralizes TNF alpha. So 3 to 5 mg per kg of drug is infused intravenously every 4 to 8 weeks. And then acute reaction to the because of this injection causes fever, chills, urticaria, bronchospasm and rarely anaphylaxis can also be seen. And then the next drug is adalimumab. So this is a recombinant monoclonal anti-TNF antibody. It is administered subcutaneously 40 mg every 2 weeks. And the injection site reaction and respiratory infections are common adverse effect of this drug. So the next class of drugs are interleukin-1 antagonists. This includes anakinra. So this is a recombinant human interleukin-1 receptor antagonist, and though it is clinically less effective than TNF inhibitors, TNF alpha inhibitors, it is used in cases of patients who are failed on one or more DMARDs. So when a patient is kept on DMARD therapy and the patient fails to show response either on one DMARD or two or more, in such patients this drug is used even though it is clinically less effective than TNF alpha inhibitors. And the dose of this drug is 100 mg subcutaneously daily. And local reaction and chest infections are main adverse effects even with this drug. So the next category of drugs is adjuvants. So this includes corticosteroids. So in adjuvant therapy, corticosteroids are used, and glucocorticoids have potent immunosuppressant as well as anti-inflammatory action. So the symptomatic relief caused by these drugs is prompt, and the rheumatoid progress is not arrested, and bony erosions are delayed, and joint destruction is slowed. So these are the effects shown by corticosteroids, and long-term use of corticosteroids has serious disadvantages, because of which it is either given in a small dose, that is 5 to 10 mg of prednisolone or equivalent, used to supplement NSAIDs. But the disadvantage when these drugs are used in this way is it is difficult to withdraw the steroid in such patients, because exacerbations and can be seen, which causes the patient to become steroid dependent, or so either low doses are used or in high doses over short period of time. That is done in cases with severe systemic manifestations such as organ threatening diseases or vasculitis, while the patient awaits the response from a remission inducing drug. So while the patient is if a patient is in condition where there are organ threatening diseases or vasculitis etc., in such patients, when a remission inducing drug is given, and because the response takes some time, during that period of time these drugs can be given for a short period. So in cases with single or few joint involvement with severe symptoms, intra-articular injection of a soluble glucocorticoid causes relief for several weeks, and joint damage may also be slowed. So these high doses for short period of time are given in patients showing severe systemic manifestations. And this procedure should not be repeated before 4 to 6 months. So this can be done only once in a period of 4 to 6 months. So this is about drugs used in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. Hope you have understood. Thank you.